Hello Market Club members everywhere. Adam Hewison here, coming to you from the digital studios of Market Club. Well, you can see we have a little bit of profit taking coming in, very small, but the reality is the Dow is going to go to 20,000. It's almost a given at this point in time. It may just touch there and then fall off, but the reality is everybody has it in their minds psychologically that we're going to see this market reach up and touch 20,000 on the Dow. And that'll be a historic moment in Dow history. So let's see how that plays out. But I want to share with you today something interesting I think you'll find interesting. You know, we look at the daily charts, we look at the weekly charts, we look at the monthly charts occasionally, but we very seldom look at the quarterly charts. These are powerful charts, and I'll show you how this works. We're going to look at the maximum. And you can see I've put a parabolic on here, and you can see how the parabolic stays under. This is going all the way back to 2008. So you can see how the market just basically trended up, some pullbacks, but all of it above the parabolic, these little dotted lines you're seeing here. And the reality is you can look at this and say, draw this one conclusion. Here's the line. I'm just going to draw the line right here. This is the line. And then it goes up, and then it goes under there, and then it goes above there again. So for this amount of time from when it made the lows in the first quarter of 2009, the trend was basically continued up for the rest of the time. It's been a very prolonged bull market. We broke below that area right here. So for a period of almost 9 months or a year, the market went nowhere, which is exactly what it did. It went traded between the highs here around 18,000 and 16,000, and sort of a chop, and it finally broke out to the upside. Now it's interesting to see this on an index, but when you see it on certain stocks, it's also very interesting. Let me give you an example of that. Okay, we're looking at a very popular stock. It's called Netflix, NFLX. You probably have Netflix in your home. If you don't, it's a great service. Highly recommend it. But here again, you can see this is going back to 2008, and you can see how the market was over the little parabolic. It went below there, and then for a period of really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarters, a year and a half, it really went nowhere. So there was no reason for you to tie your money up during this period. It went over right here, and it's never stopped from $30 all the way up to where we are right now, which is close to $123. So the reality is the parabolic, which is the default we use, the parabolic right here is the default setting right here. The quarterly charts really do give you a big picture of the market's trends, and not the little squiggly day-to-day stuff or weekly stuff or whatever, but the big picture. Something to look at very closely. Let's take a look at another stock. Now this is a popular stock. We've all seen it. We've all used this service probably. This is Amazon. You can see how it started out right here, above the line, above the line, above the line, above the line, and finally goes under the line for a period of really 4 quarters. And you can see it went nowhere until it broke out on the upside and the parabolic started going there. So the breakout came around $400. We're now trading at $775. It's almost doubled in price, just following a very simple formula of when the market's above the parabolic on the quarterly charts, you want to be long, and when it's below, you want to be out of the market on the sidelines. Pretty simple formula, but it's pretty effective. You can check some stocks out, some of your favorite stocks, and see how they did, how they performed with this simple solution. So let's go back to the markets we're looking at. This is the S&P 500. You can see very strong trends. All of our trade channels, if we put them in, they're all positive, and the trend is very strong. Expect this trend to continue. I can't imagine much changing before the end of the year. However, after the 15th, we talked about this before, we're on the 14th today, things can get very hairy and very scary in terms of the liquidity in the marketplace. So be careful, be careful, be careful. NASDAQ starting to put in a good performance based on some of the Amazon, some of the other markets that are in there are finally kind of getting a little more serious on the upside. But generally speaking, the trend is your friend. All the trade channels are green and go. This is gold. We've talked about the trend there. Again, it's basically has been down. We have a little conflict here on the weekly red, the daily green, meaning you should be on the sidelines right now in gold. Here's what's interesting to me in gold. We've talked about this before, but I'm going to point it out one more time, and that is you're seeing gold prices trend lower, which they have been doing right here, look at the trend. It's all going lower, but look at the momentum. It's going higher. This is definitely a conflict, and it has to be resolved. So either we're going to see a rally in gold, or we're going to see a breakdown in the RSI. But my guess is we're going to see a rally in gold. We've been in a bear market for quite some time, so I think that's beginning to change. Now let's take a look. Let's just clear the screen and go to a quarterly chart. So here's the spot gold. You can see we basically right here, January 2013, we went below that, and it's been that way ever since. So we haven't really ever turned back up on this. So that's definitely something to watch for a long-term trend in gold. A little bit of profit taken in crude oil. However, the trade triangles are still somewhat positive on this market. You can see the only thing we have is a mixed daily and weekly, indicating you should be on the sidelines right now with today's action. So something to look at. Look at the weekly and the daily for futures and currencies, and then look at the big picture on the quarterly charts. It's always interesting to look at those charts. So, hey, I'm Adam Hewison. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. But check out those quarterly charts. I think you'll find them very interesting.